Hey eBay friends, it's Suzanne A. Wells. Thank you for coming back for another video. And today we have what I'm calling the opposite of a haul video. Things I've actually sold on eBay. And these items are coming from my Pinterest board that I have been keeping since 2013, where I posted items that actually sold on eBay. Some of you were confused about what this is. I'm not selling these things on Pinterest. I'm just keeping a record of items I sold for my own knowledge. And I also started keeping this so that I could show people when they say, "What can you sell on eBay?" Well, I've got this board with almost 700 items that I have kept a record of. So anyway, let's get into it. Going back to this is going back to 2013, but these items I'm showing you are still sellable today. And part of the reason I'm showing you this is that the longevity you can have with this business. Once you learn what to sell, you can repeat. It's very repeatable. Even though you're doing thrift store items that are used, you learn what to look for. And the more you do this, the better you get at doing it and recognizing what sells. So, this item was a pair of binoculars. Whoops. That I actually had in my house. I was downsizing and getting ready to move, and I downsized for about a year. I was in a house, a 3,000 square foot house, where I had lived from 99 to 2015, so 16 years, and raised my kids there. So just like everybody else, I had accumulated things, and I took a year to 18 months to go through every single thing in my house, everything in every closet, every drawer, and donated, gave away, or sold stuff so I wouldn't have to move it. And my goal is kind of to be a minimalist just because life is easier that way. It's very liberating not to have much stuff. And that kind of doesn't go with being an eBay seller because you have inventory. But most of what I have in my home is my eBay inventory. So anyway, I have a couple of videos and blog posts on that experience. So this was a pair of binoculars I'd had forever. When we had lived on a farm in Tennessee, which I need to make a video about that experience. We used these just to watch the cattle and various things like that. So I don't even know what we paid for these, but I sold them for $69.97. This was just something that was lying around in my house. Okay, getting back to the board here. Now here's an interesting item. This was a 100% cashmere coat I found at Goodwill. It says I paid $9 for it, and it sold in August of whatever year this was for $109. So that just shows you that it does not matter what time of year it is, these items will sell. And something interesting about this item, I actually posted it on Twitter. And someone commented on my post that that eBay sellers were evil. It was not right for us to be buying things out of thrift stores and then reselling them. So my tweet said, "Major score at Goodwill. This cost me $9, asking $124." And then someone tagged me and tweeted, "I personally wouldn't do that. It's taking good clothes from somebody who may need it for an interview, in my opinion." So first of all, this person wasn't even paying attention to what the item was, because who would wear a long top coat to an interview? I replied with, "No, it's putting money into the economy, supporting a charity, and being self-sufficient." She replied with, "I cannot agree given the purpose of the charity, in my opinion." Then she went on with several more tweets on her feed about the situation. She said, "Well, I think they are more than that, but anyway, you don't need to explain your position. I'm not donating to them anymore." because I was explaining that people are earning their living by going to thrift stores, buying these items and reselling them, and that's how they're earning a living. So they are being self-sufficient as a way to make money. So anyway, she says, my days of donating nice things to Goodwill and places like them are over. It's a shame greedy folk ruin the whole idea of these places. And that's just ridiculous to me. So I made a whole case for why what we do is good for the economy, that the reseller business fuels the economy. It keeps money circulating. It empowers people. We provide a service of matching up cast off things with people who want them. Goodwill is not in the business of offering low-priced goods to the needy. Their focus is job training and education. So the money raised from items sold in the thrift store goes into their mission of job training. Thrift stores do not exist to provide low-cost goods to the community. They exist to raise money for whatever the charity is. Almost everything in Goodwill is donated by the general public, so they have no inventory cost. And just on and on with all, my position on why this is good for the economy. So I'll put a link to that blog post. But if you are ever in this situation where people are telling you you're taking things away from disadvantaged people by purchasing from these thrift stores, this is what you need to say to them, because we are keeping that economy going by buying all these things from thrift stores. I would love to know some kind of number of the amount of dollars spent in thrift stores by eBay sellers on an annual basis. I'm sure it's in the millions or maybe the billions, because we keep those charities going with the amount of stuff we buy. And we're not taking anything away from anybody. If you go into a Goodwill or any other thrift store, there's always plenty of things on the sales floor. There's no shortage of items out there in the world. So I think that person who commented on that tweet was just not in the know on eBay reselling. And this was back in 2013, so it's much more common and accepted now. So anyway, back to Pinterest. $9 investment sold for $109 in August. It was a winter item. More proof that it does not matter what season it is. Okay, next item is Eileen Fisher. This is a fantastic brand. If you are not aware of this brand, check it out. They make very high quality clothing for it's usually made out of organic fabrics, so they're very comfortable, environmentally friendly, and stylish. So Eileen Fisher is the brand. This item I purchased at Goodwill for $5. It sold for $99.97, and also in August it was a long sweater, a long cardigan sweater made of alpaca, and here we are, another winter item that sold in the middle of the summer. So if you are not selling off-season clothing year-round, you are missing out. Here's another item. I love selling these Fisherman Sweaters. They're basically, let's see if I can zoom in here. Whoops. They're basically cable knit sweaters, very thick and very popular, easy to sell these items. This was $5 at Goodwill, sold for $49.97 in less than a week, and it was new with tags. Some of you have asked about how to clean new with tags items after my video about the disgusting truth about thrift store clothing. There's a couple of ways you can do that. You can remove the tags and put the items in the Dryel bag and do the Dryel in your dryer. This is not misleading the customer. This is cleaning it so that it's acceptable to ship to them. And then you just put the tags back on. Get a tagging gun. You can just Google that. You can get those at office supply stores, order it from Amazon, and then you can just put the tag back on. And it's still new with tag. Nobody's worn it. It's not dirty. Nothing's happened to it. You have just freshened it up without ruining the tags. Or some people steam the item. Just leave the tag on it and use a clothing steamer where the very hot steam should kill anything within the fabric. I don't use that method, but some people do and they say it's fine. So that is how you will clean new with tag items, because remember, they have been mixed in with other things. And just because something appears to be new with tag does not mean that it is absolutely clean and has nothing, nothing going on as far as mites or bugs or mold or anything like that. Okay, moving on to the next item. This is a Tse Cashmere Sweater. This is a very high-end brand, Tse Cashmere. I usually pick up cashmere regardless of the brand, but this is a higher end brand, so check that out if you're not familiar with it. This I purchased also at Goodwill for $5, and it sold for $40.97 in September. So still not the dead of winter. Sweaters will sell all year round. You'll notice on these items that I'm going over that most of them sold for pretty high prices. $109, $99, $49. And my business model is not the mouse on the wheel, the doing 100 listings a day as fast as you can go. That is never the way I've done this business. I focus on quality. I spend my time finding the good items so that I only have a smaller number to list when it's time to put them up for sale, because while there is an abundance of things out there to sell, you've got to decide how you want to spend your time. Do you want to spend your time just constantly going at it 12, 14 hours a day, listing things for $10, or do you want to be very selective in what you're choosing and pick higher dollar items so that your profit per item is much higher? And there's this thing going around that if you're selling 1% of your items a day, that's acceptable. I don't listen to any of that sell-through rate stuff, because I look at profit. And your sell-through rate and your profit are two very different things. You can have a very small sell-through rate, but your profit is exactly what you need for that month to pay your bills or whatever you're doing. So I'm going to do an analysis of that on a video soon, just looking at sell-through rate versus profit, because I think a lot of you out there are hung up on this sell-through rate thing, and that really has nothing to do with how much money you're making. Again, people have tried to come up with an equation, a formula of how to do eBay, and it just doesn't work like that. When you're out there being a picker, you want to spend your time finding high profit items that you can flip and to create the kind of profit or income that you need every month for whatever reason. So please don't get all hung up on this sell-through rate thing, because it doesn't make any sense to me. When you're trying to do this business to generate a certain dollar amount of income a month and getting hung up on sell-through rate, that does not matter, because if your sell-through rate is, even if it's 90%, if you're only making $1 per item, why? Why are you doing this business and working yourself to death 12, 14 hours a day for that little amount of money? It's all about the quality of items, how much you can make per item, and then you don't have to sell as much. So that is another video. Anyway, so let's move on to the next item. This is some more of that Donna Karan Cashmere Mist. I talked about this in my last video, and this was actually free in the woman who I bought the large bottles of lotion from that were $25 and they sold for $140 $25, I think. She just threw these in for free, and I sold these for $9.97. So never turn down anything free. Look in those free boxes at garage sales and estate sales. You never know what you're going to come up with that you can make money on. Okay, the next item is not this. went to the wrong link there. Okay. This is supposed to be some Born leather clogs. These I got at Goodwill for $6, sold for $34.97 plus shipping. And this is just a good, steady brand to sell. If you're just getting into shoes, one thing to think about is wide widths and narrow widths are good sellers because there's not as many of them. Especially wide width boots. Very hard to find those that are, go up over the calves for some people who have wide feet. They usually have wide calves also. So, when you see shoes in wide or narrow, take a moment to look them up, because although it may be a run-of-the-mill brand that you don't think is very expensive, the fact that it's wide or narrow makes it in lower supply, and lower supply means higher demand, which also means higher prices. Okay, so let's move on to this item, which is a David's Bridal long formal dress. This one was $5 at a garage sale, and it sold for $39.97. And some people shy away from formal wear because it gets returned. I have not had that problem, and I really don't care if it gets returned because they're paying return shipping. I can resell the item. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care about returns. If I get them, as long as the item is returned in the same condition I sold it in, I don't care. I don't have this vendetta against people that return things. I just suck it up as part of doing the business and resell it. So this was a good flip on formal dress, and these sell good all year. You've got high school homecoming, high school prom, you've got sorority formals, you've got people going to weddings, you've got mismatched bridesmaids dresses, all kind of things, that reasons for people to buy formal wear all year long. So if you haven't ventured into that, give it a try, and don't worry about the returns. Just do it and see what happens. Okay, here is another Fisherman sweater. I told you that I do like selling these, and these are easy to spot when you are looking at the racks of clothing because they're textured. They're usually this natural color, off-white, cream, something like that. Very easy to spot. This one was $5 and it sold for $49.97. And a lot of times these go international. They're just a good, solid, staple item to sell in your store. Okay, let's see what else. Here's a pair of boots. I love selling boots. They're very high profit if you can buy them at a low enough cost. This pair was $7 at Goodwill. That's the regular price for boots at the stores I shop at, and they sold for $49.97. Good used condition. I love selling boots. They're just good, steady sellers any time of year. Let's see. Now this one I wanted to talk to you about pull-ups. I find these all the time at Goodwill, thrift stores, garage sales, whatever. And it doesn't even matter if they're opened. This pack I got for $1 at a garage sale, and one was taken out of it, and it still sold for $8.97 plus shipping. So any of these drugstore type items that don't expire are great to resell. And the diapers and pull-ups, you can just put them all together in a lot and people will buy them. Maybe they have kids of different ages, daycares buy them. it doesn't matter. So if you're shying away from things that have already been opened, non-perishable things like this, give that a try. You'll be surprised. Also, the adult diapers do very well. And a lot of times these are donated because the child outgrew it, they didn't need it anymore, whatever. So nothing wrong with them. They just get donated because they're not needed anymore. Okay, let's go on to the next item. This is a Bowden sweater. The brand is Boden. It's a British brand. This was $5 and it sold for $36.97. This one took a little while to sell. This brand kind of sells a little slow for me, but eventually it does sell. But it's a very high quality brand, and that was a good flip there with a little under $30 profit after the fees came out. So that's the profit margin I like to see. My average profit per item is now $22. Over the years, I have refined that to where it just keeps going up. But there are things I grab because I know they're quick sellers, easy sellers, and I'm just like you. I have trouble leaving things behind when I see something that sells well. These are Ugg Slippers. These I got at a thrift store for $4 and they sold for $45.97. And these sold really fast. These are good sellers. So how to clean these? I just cleaned them with baby wipes, or you could use like Lysol disinfectant wipes because you don't want to put these in the washing machine, but you do want to wipe them down well since they are made of a fabric that could have dust mites or any other thing in there from the thrift store. So that's a good way to clean shoes, is using baby wipes or Lysol wipes. So this was a great sale and very easy to ship. Let's see what else we've got here. Okay, this was actually my son's. He got these Stetson colognes for Christmas, I think, and just didn't like the smell. So I sold these for $19.97 for him. And remember that fragrances cannot be shipped air. They must go parcel select, cannot go first class, cannot go priority, and cannot go international. I know I'm repeating that on my videos, but this may be the first video of mine that you've watched, so I just like to add these little tips. Okay, this item I got at a garage sale for $1, and I think I wore it for about 3 years because I love the color, and it was just, I liked it, so I wore it for a while, and then when I got done with it, I sold it for $31.47 with free shipping. These puffy vests are great sellers. They're very lightweight and easy to ship. The higher content down they have, the more expensive they're going to be, the more money you're going to get for them. So look at the tag at what the percentage of down is, and that will help indicate the value of the item. So yes, I do wear my inventory, and I don't care because I bought it. It belongs to me, and if I want to wear it, I will. Here's another good brand to sell, Clogs. These ankle boots I got for $7 at Goodwill and sold for $39.97 plus shipping. And Clark's, Born, and Bjorndal, and also Dansko. You want to do the bend test when you look for these items to resell. When you find them, turn the shoe over and bend it and twist it to see if the sole cracks, because some of these are made with a material that disintegrates, and if the shoe has been stored in an area where it's dried out, the sole may be cracked and disintegrating, and that might be the reason it got donated. But you definitely don't want your customer to get the item and have the sole fall apart. So it's just kind of bend it, twist it to see if it cracks or breaks before you buy it. Okay, let's do another one here. Swimwear. I'm encouraging you guys to get into swimwear because it's a great seller. It doesn't matter if it's used. You can sell the bottoms and the tops separately. Um, Wash them in your washing machine like all the other used clothing that you're going to purchase. But this sold in December 13th. It sold for $19.97 and I got it for $5 at Goodwill. So the profit on that was a little bit lower than I like, but December and January are great months for selling swimwear. So when you're out there thrifting and you see bathing suits for $1 at the end of the summer, or even at stores like TJ Maxx or Kohl's or anywhere that they're marking swimwear down where it's really cheap, try it. Buy a few pieces and see how that goes because these will sell year round. I'm pushing you out of your comfort zone on that to try it. Okay, the last item is this Scrubbing Bubbles refill pads. And let me go back to my blog. Whoops. I sold these on Amazon for a while. This is a blog post I did back in January of 2012 talking about things I had sold on Amazon and how much money I made. So the item was this Sonic Scrubbing Bubbles cleaning tool and the brushes, and it had all these different attachments. And the issue was that this item had been discontinued. So I was finding these at grocery stores, hardware stores, home improvement stores for between $6 and $13, and I sold these on Amazon for around $45 a piece, and I sold 45 of them in a very short period of time. So that's back when Amazon wasn't so competitive and you could flip stuff for a lot of money. So that's how I knew about this product. So I sold 45 of them on Amazon from August 1st to October 31st for $44.95. And then this was my last sale of that item on Amazon. You can see $44.49 for one of these. And the issue was it was just discontinued. But I found one of these later after that was over and just put it on eBay because I stopped selling on Amazon. I just didn't enjoy it anymore. It wasn't fun anymore. And so I sold this on eBay for $34.97. I had purchased it for $13 at a grocery store and used it a couple of times, and it still sold for that much. So this just shows you anything can sell on eBay at any time. Open up your mind to all the possibilities. You will be shocked at what actually sells. So that is the end of the video for today on the opposite of a haul video. And I would love to hear your comments about these items. If you are enjoying these videos and want more of them, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm really trying to build my channel, so that will help me out. And share this video if you found it helpful. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day on eBay. Bye.